Hello and welcome to The Bottom Line on TVP World, where we bring you the best of the main business and economic stories of the day. I'm your host, Don Arleth, in for Marie Cato. 100,000 battery electric vehicles, or BEVs as they're known, that's the milestone that Poland has reached in July of this year. After years of lukewarm consumer sentiment, sales of BEVs have shot up by double digits between January and July. Jan Kennedy has the details.
This is the Tesla Model Y, the most popular all-electric vehicle on Polish roads. But it's not only the US brand that's getting Poles to go electric. Since the start of the year, around 23,500 new battery electric vehicles, or BEVs, have been registered in Poland, pushing the total figure into 6 digits in July.
This is the second month in a row where the share of electric cars in the vehicle sales reached 7.6%. That is a historic record in this respect, and we hope it will continue in the coming months.
Nevertheless, Poland has a lot of catching up to do. The share of BEVs in the total of new registrations currently stands at a meagre 5%, one of the lowest in the EU, and is 3 times lower than the average. To boost the EV adoption rate, the government has earmarked some €270 million in subsidies, which experts hope, in its new and improved form, will drive BEV adoption also in the commercial sector.
We hope that the expansion of the Our e-Vehicle program, announced by the Ministry of Climate and Environment to include subsidies for the purchase of delivery vehicles, as well as the extension of the application period for several more months, will help maintain the high growth dynamics we have observed over the past few months.
Another issue is the sluggish development of charging infrastructure, hindered by long permitting procedures, connection delays, and construction-related challenges. However, in terms of fast charging infrastructure, Poland is growing faster than the EU's automotive leader.
Poland has already surpassed 10,000 charging points. The next milestone is 20,000. Interestingly, Poland is somewhat unique in Europe because 35% of our charging stations are ultra-fast DC chargers, compared to 25% in Germany.
According to the association's forecasts, by 2030, 1 million BEVs will be registered in Poland, and they will account for a quarter of all new vehicles sold. For TVP World, Jan Kennedy.
So 65% growth in EV sales in Poland in the first half of the year compared to the same period in 2024. Pretty impressive, right? Does that mean that we are on the right track to expand the total number of BEVs on Polish roads? Government incentives are in place, charging networks are expanding, and renewables are taking a larger share of the electricity market, all of which are good news. Now joining me to discuss the state of the electric vehicle market in Poland is Krzysztof Burda, CEO of the Polish Chamber of Electromobility Development. Hello, Krzysztof, and thank you so much for joining us on The Bottom Line.
Hello, thank you very much for having me here today.
Yes, now 65% growth in BEV sales in Poland in the first half of the year compared to the same period in 2024. Sounds impressive. So have Poles finally started to love BEVs? Why have the sales dynamic has shot up so much?
So I think Poland and people in Poland loves cheap driving, and I think electric vehicles give them a possibility to drive cheaper. But it's the only one of area that we can discuss about growing popularity of the electric vehicles in Poland. I think behind this, great milestone is a subsidy program, new program, Nasze Auto, which is started in this February in our country, and this is first result of the subsidy program dedicated to average Kowalski, because in this program private people can buy or lease the electric vehicle, and people who has their own JDG, this program exclude just a normal business as companies, SMEs and large companies.
Right. Let's take a pause right there. So, talking about the subsidies, so you mentioned the average Kowalski, but the price of an electric vehicle is very, very expensive. We look, the average price of a used car here in Poland is around 10,000 euro. Not a lot of people want to spend 250,000 zlotys or, 50, 60,000 euros on a brand new BEV. Now, you mentioned the leasing. Some people can lease these cars for 3 years. Is that maybe a more attractive deal? Because then they can utilize the subsidies and they could have a car, a battery electric vehicle for, say, 3 years, and that's a pretty low cost, is it?
I can totally agree, but in Poland, we noticed that the average year of the car is around 14 years old vehicles, and when we compare it to completely new electric vehicles, because market of the electric vehicles are mostly new vehicles, it's really a huge difference between these categories. And now a subsidy program give to people some new financing opportunities as a lease, and adding to that, some of importers and car dealers prepared special offers for the leasing for the average Kowalski with really low monthly rate of the lease, and I think that is the one of the really success of this program, because on the market we notice that we've got much more better offers for people. And the second one, I think always also important thing is that we have more cheaper models of cars, of electric vehicles, because some car manufacturers just introduced into the market in 2025 some cheaper vehicles dedicated to the cities, and that new model offers plus new financing models give for everyone new possibilities to acquire really cheap electric vehicle. And we noticed that in top 5 buying cars in 2025, we see that small cars dedicated to the city centers are in this top 5 cars. So that's the answer, that we need more cheaper vehicles, and after the subsidy they cost around 40,000, 60,000 Polish zlotych.
Wow, okay. Well, still in number one place is Tesla's, and those by no means are cheap. Now, I'd like to ask you about the BEVs have about a 5% market share here in Poland, which is tiny compared to other European countries, even from CEE. Let's go ahead and bring up a visual where we can see here the share of battery electric vehicles and new car registrations. From January to June of 2025. We have Denmark coming in at 63.8%, Sweden becoming in at 35.2%, Germany at 17.7%, European Union average is 15.6%, Hungary at 7.9%, Czech Republic at 5.6%, and Poland at 5%. So why is the EV market booming in the former and not here in the latter here in Poland?
Of course, we are not the leaders in Europe still, but we are working on that to be on the top. I checked the data of the ASEA, and I learned from that the latest data that Poland is in the middle because we are on the 15th position in car registration between January and June 2025. And it's much better than in last year, 2024. But we've got some European leader as Germany with the number more than 250,000 only in the first half of the 2025. It's a totally European leader. So if we see this chart as you presented, we see that on the top of the European top are countries with the I think people can buy much expensive vehicles, and maybe some not subsidies programs, but other benefits than subsidies can help them to make this decision to buy electric vehicle. And another thing, I think in Denmark is producing 100% energy from the renewable energy sources, and the level of the thinking of the people, what people thinking about the ecology of the ecology side of the electric vehicle, they can make it much more better in Denmark than in Poland, when where we have still really bad energy mix with I think around 50 to 60% energy in Poland is made of coal still, and environmental things are also important for some of nations.
Yes, so cheap renewable energy over there. Still, Poland is trying to make that transition. But if we look at the total numbers now stand at what, 103,500 EVs total on the Polish market, on Polish roads, which is actually nothing when we consider that 23 million passenger cars are registered in Poland. Do you think that Poland is on track to meet that goal of 1 million EVs by the end of the decade?
Yes, but I think the market is starting right now, because the early stage of the development of the electromobility in Poland was really, really long, and the road to 100,000 was really much longer than in other European countries. And I think now we are on the good trajectory, because we've got really reliable charging infrastructure, and this is still growing in Poland. For example, now I'm charging my car, and it's almost charging station in every stop next to the motorway, and we expect that in some of next months we will have more and more fast charging infrastructure here in Poland, because of the another subsidy program to build units like that. People also see that economical side, and possibility to drive cheaper is also important for the monthly budget in every household. And also they can calculate that these new offers for electric vehicle also can give them possibility to have an access to driving cheaper, and access to brand new car. And sometimes that was a barrier to buy electric vehicle because of the price, and you can buy it on have some bank credit to buy this. Now you don't have to be the owner of the car, you can lease it and use it.
Just for a quick comparison, what is the difference between, say, using a hybrid or a car that runs on fossil fuels and the price of driving a car on pure electricity and batteries?
Mm-hmm. It depends on the place where you can charge, because if you use in your house your own charging station plus photovoltaics, is the cost of the investment of the photovoltaics unit and charging station, and you can drive almost for free. But you can also use public charging stations, and some people said that this is the more expensive way of using electric vehicles, and that's true. But if you check all the offers on the market, you can choose the best one for you and drive also cheap, because it's similar to telecoms offers for the mobile phones. You've got really a lot of personal offers for cheap calls, for example, for no limit internet, etc. The market of the charging, it starts to looks really similar to that.
Okay. Well, a lot of people in Poland do live in apartment, in block flats and apartments. And this is where there seems to be a problem, because there's not a lot of charging infrastructure, and simply people don't want to drop an extension cord, from their kitchen on the 6th floor down to where their car is parked, maybe on the curb. So how do we solve this problem, with all of these old buildings that don't have the infrastructure and need it for the residents that live there?
Yes, of course. I think in Poland we've got really good situation from the beginning, because around 50 to 50% people lives in their own houses, and another 50% of people lives in the house of flats. So the solution for them is to first looking for the good offers at the public charging stations, and you can use your vehicle as IC car through this time. For example, if I live in the city center, I can go once a week for refueling my IC car, so I don't have to change my behaviors. I can use electric vehicles totally the same, but I use public charging stations, charging hubs to refuel my battery, recharge my battery. And the second way is to install, if I have my own parking place in parking, parking lot, I can install my own charging station, or I can go to the CPO, which have dedicated offer for the private charging. So we've got, I think, 3 or 4 ways to how we can deal with that.
Okay, very interesting. Now, finally, do you think with all these cheap Chinese EVs entering the market here in Poland, will Polish consumers fall for them and buy them in mass? And very briefly, because we're almost out of time.
Yes, of course. I think Chinese brands started in Polish market mostly not in EVs but in IC vehicles. We are still waiting for the more electric vehicles from the China, because it's also could be one of the area where we can find offers for really nice cars, but in cheaper prices, but they start to dominate the IC segment, especially SUVs.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, Krzysztof Burda, CEO of the Polish Chamber of Electromobility Development, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for the discussion.
And that concludes this edition of The Bottom Line here for you today. I was your host, Don Arleth. We bring you the best of regional business Monday through Friday at 5 CET on TVP World. In the meantime, for the latest on regional business, follow us on X and at tvpworld.com. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you next time. Goodbye.